Scott, it's been 2 Hawaiian events since we last spoke with you. Talk to me about how this week went, last night, tonight, and how the promotion's feeling coming out of those 2 events back to back.
I tell you, I'm so happy about the way that things unfolded. I mean, we had a great night last night with the military and the first responders, and the wild card slots for the tournament have now been filled, so we'll know who's going to enter into the tournament on June 24th. And I think we have 2 great candidates coming in. Barzola, he's a tough. He beat a tough Fedor student, so I gotta take my hats off to him. And he's gonna fight Magomedov, and then will fight Barzola. No, I'm sorry. Sabatola, yes. When I think of that kid, he had, I think he had the quote of the night. I don't want to say what it was, but I think it went viral. Great personality, got great hair. He's going to be. I think he's going to do very well in this tournament. So, he's going to fight Higo. Now we have the brackets all set, and we ran the first round tonight. Didn't work out for Horiguchi, but makes us tough. He's a great grappler, and he did what he had to do. I thought it was very close. And then the knockout by Stotts. I mean, like you guys saw it, I saw it. It's like, Juan said he wasn't hurt, but I'm not sure. I gotta see it again. But to me, what I saw was somebody that was injured, and they stopped the fight. But I'll have to go back and check it one more time. And then Chris did what she did, but I gotta give my hats off to Arlene, man. That girl is tough, and she came to fight, and she could have laid down a couple times in that fight. And think about this. She could have just said, "Hey, after the penalty, I'm finished." But you know what? She said, "No, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna fight this girl," and she did. So I give my hats off to her. But so many great fights, so many great events. In the evening, I'm just happy to be here. I think our staff's happy to be here, and I think my staff wants to stay another week. But I said we gotta go to Paris, so we're heading out of here in a couple days. Other than that, yeah, just a lot of good stuff.
Is the plan for this to be an annual thing for Bellator?
Well, it has been in the past, and I think we definitely like to continue it. The one thing when I see the local fighters here, there's a great talent pool here. There's always been a great talent pool here in Hawaii, and they have a great history of martial arts, like we talked about before, but great history of MMA. You go back to Rumble on the Rock with the Penn family, go back to Super Brawl with TJ and what he did here in the mid-90s. I mean, MMA didn't stop when it kind of slowed down in America. MMA didn't stop, and I believe it's because the culture of Hawaii loves martial arts, and it showed tonight. I mean, you could feel the passion and the energy from the crowd, and it's just someplace very special.
And just kind of take it chronologically, we didn't speak to you after last night's main event. A lot of talk about the stoppage, whether it was early, whether it was late, should they do a rematch? Kind of what was your thoughts on that whole sequence and kind of where that title picture goes from here?
I'm just glad I'm not a judge. I mean, I would never want to be a referee or a judge. That's something those guys are professionals at what they do at the highest level. I think that we travel with the A crew when we're on the road. And, that's something that, he saw it how he saw it. And that's something maybe you should ask him next time you see him. But, for me, I don't mind running that fight back. I think that those ladies were definitely scrapping it, and to me, I don't mind running that fight back. And believe me, I was getting calls from the manager and this, but there's really nothing we could do, and the fight's over. It's already done. It's like, let's move on. And so, it's something that we'll have conversations with both of them when we get back, and then we'll start planning the future for both ladies.
And then tonight's main event winner, Chris Cyborg, another W. She's continuing this reign in Bellator. She kind of said she might be at the point where the boxing thing is next. Have you thought about it all, like what you guys do with her? Because she seems to just be, I think what we all know is kind of a step ahead of these other girls.
Yeah, you know what? I think that that's really going to be up to her. And I'll be honest with you, and I don't want to get into too much detail, but it's always been an agreement that we had with her that she could box at any time in our contract with her. So she could box, whether it was a year ago or 8 months ago, she always had the ability to box in her agreement. So, maybe it's something she wants to try, or, she wants to fight. I know she wants to fight some of the top girls in boxing. So maybe that's something that, she wants to do. I'm not sure.
Going back to the fighting spirit of Hawaii, someone that embodies it is Yancy Medeiros. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on his performance, and is that someone that you'd like to see continue fighting for Bellator.
Yeah, you know what? That was a really entertaining fight, and I think we would definitely like to keep Yancy on the roster, and I think we're going to keep Sanchez on the roster too. I think both those guys, won a slot and deserve to be on our fight roster.
Ilima-Lei McFarland, her second loss, her first here in the state of Hawaii. What do you think's next for her?
That's something that I'm going to have to sit down and talk to her, because I think she was injured in this fight early on, and she looked a little rusty to me, and I don't know if that was the injury or she had come off a surgery, and so a little bit of ring rust is what I looked at somebody like at her fight as somebody that had some ring rust that wasn't fine tuned yet, so maybe she came back too early and maybe we pushed her a little bit too much. I'm not sure, but it's really going to be up to her, and if she wants to do it again, we'll definitely give her another opportunity. I think she deserves it. I mean, if you look at her record now, she's still 11-2 or 12, whatever her record is. It's an amazing fight record. She's still ranked in the top 5, I'm sure, even after losing this fight. So if she wants to, continue to fight or take some time off, it's going to be really up to what she wants to do.
And every fighter waits for their moment, that dream scenario where they burst onto the scene. Sumiko Inaba, safe to say that was her moment?
Yeah, that was a big fight, big win, so I think that, again, you'll see a lot of local talent here, and we have been here signing the fighters and cultivating the fighters and bringing them to the fights in the mainland and keeping them busy. But I was just talking to Hoyce about this. I said, we just need to create more opportunities for these guys and basically have more fights. We have to make sure that we're not such a long break between some of these matches, for the local kids. So I think that we're gonna maybe shift our position on it a little bit and keep these guys busy. And that might mean even just supporting like a local show here, that might be a smaller, and just keep them busy and keep them fighting, and or work with other leagues and just keep them fighting and keep them going, and then the big ones step up, and then the ones that have success will go forward, and the ones that don't will probably step down at some point.
Hey Scott, congratulations on bringing Bellator back to Hawaii. Great 2 successful cards, treating the troops and then treating the fans of Hawaii. Obviously, a big upset with the Ilima-Lei McFarland, being upset by Justine Kish. Thoughts on the fight and what's next for the next those two girls?
Yeah, you know what? I think for Kish it was a big win. And I think that she'll definitely move forward. Let's see how far she moves in the rankings, and that'll determine where she fights her next fight. For Ilima, like I said, I think she had some ring rust. I think that she didn't look as sharp as I've seen her in the past. I think she hurt herself in the first round, and she has like a pinched neck or nerve, or so they're taking a look at her now. But to me, I think she'll be back. We just got to give her maybe a little bit of time and have her, come back properly, when she fights next.
Hi Scott, Keelan McNamara here. Congratulations on 2 brilliant events here in Hawaii. Both were brilliant, it is fair to say. My first question for you, Scott, is obviously we've talked about this already with Chris Cyborg and her strong desire to go to boxing, and the fact that there is a provision in her contract that allows her to do that. If there is an announcement in the near future of her doing that, would there be any consideration to an interim title in her division, or is that something that's too soon to think about?
Yeah, I think that depends on what she wants to do. If she's looking for one fight, or she's really looking to fight for a title, that might take several fights. It might tie her up for a certain amount of time. So really those are things we haven't had a conversation with her yet. But I thought she looked great tonight, and I think that she wanted to really box. I think she'd be very, very effective.
Yep, and last question for me is, the last time I had a chance to talk to you was Bellator Dublin with Gegard Mousasi and Austin Vanderford. Brilliant event there as well, a little bit of bias, but are there any plans to return to Ireland, north or south, in the immediate future?
Yeah, I think we've already announced the date, September 23rd.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, and it's going to be the semi-main event will be Benson Henderson fighting Peter Quilley. And then we're going to announce a big main event. Listen, we love Dublin. They are, you saw the crowd tonight. They're very passionate. Dublin, they're passionate, but they also sing. So, it's someplace I've never been to an environment like that where it's just rocking. And so we love going to Dublin, and we love coming to Hawaii. But, I think those two are very comparable in the sense that they're very passionate fans. And that's we like going where the fans are. And Dublin someplace we have gone maybe twice a year before COVID, and we'll continue to go twice a year.
That's great. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And one more.
Okay, so how do you think about Horiguchi's loss is going to impact Japanese Bellator market?
Listen, I think that Horiguchi is a very big deal in Japan, but one thing I learned working in Japan is that, you know, they are very loyal fans. And when we come to Japan, I'm sure Horiguchi will want to fight. And, you know, I think we have a lot of, like a good relationship with Sakakibara, and we'll have maybe some of more Japanese fighters fighting in Bellator soon. And it's unfortunate, but this is the fight game, and, you know, it didn't work out for him tonight. But, you know, we are planning to come to Japan at some point, and I think Horiguchi will be a part of that. So he's not in the tournament anymore unless Patrick Mix can't continue. Patrick Mix can't continue because you never know with fights. Something's happened. I told Horiguchi and Dan Lambert when they left, stay ready because you never know what's going to happen. But in saying that, you know, I think in 19 we brought a very big card, and we didn't have Horiguchi, and we did quite well. And this time we'll do the same in December is what we're planning. So that's the game plan.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, guys.